guys having great success so far this year. Does that put any pressure on you guys to succeed in this
Who are the
year?
Golden Knights? No, only pressure is that the sniping of people saying you got to do as good as them.
It's just good. Vegas is treating us well, and I think the record doesn't show how hard that we work, and it's tough in that way, but it's good for us in the inner circle to understand what we have going on in Vegas, and if we just continue to trust and believe in each other, the sky's the limit for this team, and I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Our expectations maybe at the start of the season were a little unrealistic.
Man, we're not even worrying about the playoffs right now. What we do is we take it week by week. We gotta worry about next week. You start looking ahead and you start looking over people, you might not even make it. So
that being said, to me, Urban Meyer is one of the lowest pieces of garbage there is on this earth.
You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports, live on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
That's right, man. Wednesday afternoon, just past 4 p.m. You already know what it is. You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports, live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network, your home for 24/7 positive hip-hop, music, culture, and, of course, sports as well. I am your host, Jose V. The we that I am referring to is, of course, my co-host, Ian B., as he is every single Wednesday here with me on Gorilla Cross Radio. Our guy, Jay Madrazos, which is late as always, but he'll be here shortly reading off all your comments and concerns, rants, or whatever it may be on all things social media. And, of course, the man that makes it all come together behind the big board, Quan59, live here on Gorilla Cross Radio from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, I'm going to ask you what I ask you guys every single week. You already know what it is. I sound like a broken record, I know. Drop that like, drop that comment, press that share. We'll go from there. Let everyone know what it is that you are tuned into today. We got a fun show, no special guests, none of that. We could have had a guest. We could have had a couple people in here today. We had a couple different spots, but we decided to just do, just us today.
Yes,
talk
sir.
some conversational sports here and probably confrontational sports as
It's
I
gonna
get
be a
loud.
fun show.
You know what I mean? Depending on how excited I get. Because I know sometimes I get on some people's nerves with my excitement, or some people say that I'm a little too loud, so I get it. But a lot of people like it. Gotta be me, man. What can I say? I'm tired.
We gotta come up with like a
You know
rant
what I mean?
of the week segment. Or
Right,
something
a
like
rant
that.
of the week.
Yeah.
Jose's rant of the week. What is Jose ranting about this week, right?
What grinds your gears?
Oh, I got stories for days, man. But once again, we are tuning here live on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. If you want to give us a call, 702-608-3259 is always the number to call. And if not, check us out on all social media platforms. Just search Gorilla Cross on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and on the App Store as well. Download the free app today and check out the GorillaCross.com website. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. But got the wife chiming in and watching as well. That's nice. It's always nice when the wife supports a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. But we got football, bro. We got baseball. We got UNLV coming up.
Almost here.
I mean, UNLV's right around the corner. Yeah. I know people are like, UNLV, who cares? But trust me, I think there's going to be a lot more of an exciting season this year. They finally got the monkey off their back.
There,
yeah, there's a lot going on in the world of sports. Obviously, the big shocker this past weekend, Kamaru Usman getting knocked out by a kick by Leon Edwards. Good fight leading up to that knockout. We'll definitely talk about that here shortly. I want to get Quan's thoughts on that as well, because I know Quan's a big UFC guy. And then if you're a baseball fan and you've been watching this guy at least since, I mean, he's 20 plus years now, pretty much almost my whole lifetime. Albert Pujols, guy's 7 home runs away from hitting 700.
It's amazing he's still in the league, is it not?
But here's the thing. He's showing people that, you know what? Everybody thought I was done after signing my Dodger contract, and everybody thought I was done after leaving the Angels. He's proven them wrong, man. But definitely we're going to talk about that. We got some starters that are being named, some starters that are still up in the air. I want to talk about what I saw in the Jets game yesterday, or on Monday, I'm sorry. Yeah. I replayed it, and I watched it again with the shorts and all that. And they're in trouble, man. If they're going to play the way that they're playing and have to come back, they're going to be in trouble. And again, I know I normally don't watch preseason, but you ended up getting me into it because of the game one. So I'm like, why not? I'm going to follow, and I'm going to see what's going on.
There's certain aspects of preseason that are fun to watch.
Definitely, man.
I wouldn't watch the whole game all the time.
No, that's why sometimes I watch the shorts.
Shorts.
You know what I mean?
Highlights, lowlights, stuff like that.
But yeah, man, once again, you are tuning to Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Do us a favor, please go ahead and follow all of our social medias. I am at Jose_Volonte. He is at Ian, Ian B_sports. At Gorilla Cross, you can find us on all things social media, and of course Quan59, you can find him as well. You see all of our tags there. And if you miss any shows from the past that you might have want to watch, we have a lot of good content on there that we've done here at the station that we have on our personal YouTube page. Just look up Straight Bet Sports and you'll find it on YouTube. We have all of the shows that we've done there previously. And if you're an audio fan that doesn't really want to look at our face, but you like to hear what we have to say, Apple, Anchor, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, all that stuff, we're on it. Whatever you like to listen, that's how you can find us. And of course, the Gorilla Cross app, all of our stuff is there. But what do you want to start with? You want to start with football? You want to start with the NBA? Let's just do the net situation.
Well, let's start with the MLB.
Okay, let's start with MLB.
So there's an interesting proposition someone had brought up on Twitter that I was kind of interested in. So they said, I don't understand why the Giants, the San Francisco Giants, don't just call Barry Bonds, right, and have him pinch hit for like one game. That way it resets the whole Hall of Fame clock. Okay. And I was wondering, is that a thing? Is that a possibility like a team could potentially do? Or is that like just far out left field?
I think it's far in left field. But hey, who showed up? We got somebody in the building. Hey, got the homie Jalen in the building. Came in to support today to watch the show. Appreciate you for jumping in.
Yeah, man.
You good? Chilling?
How y'all doing?
Yeah, man. That homie Snoop. If you guys knew me, you know him, you know why I say that. But yeah, man, going back to the whole baseball situation, right? Yeah. Albert Pujols, that's the biggest topic of conversation right now when it comes to baseball. He's 7 home runs away from hitting the 7 home run club, joining Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth. Obviously, we know the whole Bonds thing. People speculate steroids, this, that, whatever. At this point, I don't care. Everyone took steroids. But you know what I mean? You still got to be able to hit the damn ball and have hand-eye coordination.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Like,
so,
why isn't that a possibility? Is there rules against doing something like that? Or
what do you mean?
Like, basically, if you just bring him in as a designated hitter, right? That way, like, he's basically playing, even though he's, old now.
No, but that's the thing. With the whole DH rule now, there's a universal DH.
But that's
it's good for him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, because there's going to be a bunch of players that end up passing the Hall of Fame window, right? And might deserve it. And I just wonder, like, is that something that teams could potentially do? Can they bring a player back just as a designated hitter for a little bit? That way their Hall of Fame clock resets because they end up playing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like you see what I'm saying? Because like basically you reinstate their contract so that now it's like 5 years from they retire again.
No, I see what you're saying. So basically, if you have a player that's just trying to add to his numbers, the universal DH is going to help out now. And if you think about it, that's what Albert did in the first place when he left after being at 10 years with the Cardinals in the National League. He knew, I'm going to get paid somewhere else. I got to go to the AL because you got the DH, right? Yeah. He knew if I can't play the field anymore, I'm going to be able to DH. I'm going to continue to hit, and I don't have to worry about that part. He knew hitting wasn't going to be an issue for him. It was playing the field down the line. He was a big body guy. He wasn't a guy that was getting smaller as he was getting older. No. He was getting bigger as he was getting older.
Absolutely.
And look who did the same thing behind him right after Miguel Cabrera. He went from the Marlins to the Tigers, National League to American League. So it's a smart thing to do.
And now, like you said, now that it's on both sides, it opens up opportunity. I would have loved if the National League DH rule was in place for when Ryan Howard was a little bit younger. I think he's moved on from the game.
Yeah.
But I think that he could have actually continued his career quite a bit longer if we could have just placed him on DH basically.
And check this out, just a crazy stat to throw out there. Since his first home run in 2001, he's homered off of 449 different pitchers in the regular season, 40 different parks, with 12 walk-off home runs along the way. That's insane, bro.
It is.
And really right now, in the past few weeks, he's hitting 405 with 10 home runs since July 6th. 405 with 10 home. This guy's 40. What is he? 41, 42?
Something like that. Because I
That's
mean,
insane.
It seems like a whole nother time period that
he's doing what Tom Brady's doing.
Like I said, it is Ryan Howard and Pujols that were just battling it out for the home run record that year. So like the fact that he's still playing, Howard's gone, Utley's gone. Rawlings is gone. Like all these guys, like Ramirez is gone. Like it's crazy that Pujols is able to sustain his career this far into it.
So let me ask you a question.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that this is at all into play whatsoever, because I believe Albert is 100% doing it the right way.
Yeah.
But how soon until we start hearing those? Is he on something? You know what I mean? Because it always happens that way.
Yeah.
Remember Raul Ibanez? I don't know if you remember Raul Ibanez a few years back when he was with the Phillies and he got really good and he was almost 40 years old
and
right before he went to the Yankees. And he came out, test my stool, I'll give you whatever you want right here, right then and there. Because he was proven some guys can do it even though they're older. Some guys can reinvent themselves. I just honestly believe Albert is home more than anything. I don't even think that he's doing anything different or special with his swing. He is swinging at a lot more higher fastballs, and he's connecting on some of these, which is working for him. But I think it's home cooking, bro.
Yeah, I really do think that Pujols is doing it the correct way. With Pujols, I think if he gets to what's he at right now, home runs?
I'll look up how many he's at.
Because I would say if he gets in the 25 to 30 range at his age, I would say.
So right now, Albert Pujols is batting .277 on the season, 14 home runs, 38 RBIs, OPS of 881.
I'd say
for a guy that's 42 years old, batting .277, 14 home runs, I'll take that.
I think if he gets in the 25 to 30 range, they'll start coming for him.
Yeah, I think if he hits 25 home runs, for sure, people are going to start saying, "What's going on here?
Yeah,
can we test this guy?"
Speaking of, and people are going to jump on me for this, but is it possible that Judges, because this is getting ridiculous with Judge,
with Aaron Judge?
What
about
Aaron Judge? Like, do you think he's using? Do you think there's a possibility he's using? I mean, I get it. He has that long golf swing, and he's just actually connecting with the balls. But I mean,
So here's what it is.
What's he up to now? Because he
48.
48.
So here's the thing, though. Check this out. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you know Evan, part of the show, Drumline AV, he is always going back and forth with me, messing with me. Oh, look at these numbers. Aaron Judge's home runs. Okay, majority of his home runs are on the short right porch at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
All of those home runs would be fly balls at a lot of other, or majority of other stadium.
A lot of the stadium.
Correct. So whether now at the end of the day they're home runs no matter what. So you can't take that away from them. That's what I try to make Evan understand, and you always give me crap about it. But what I'm saying is, if it wasn't for those, his numbers would, if we're being honest, would be a whole lot lower than they are right now.
It's like I believe it's the Phillies. I believe their stadium is I think their center field is the shortest in the league.
Really, I don't know.
I know it's short. I know it is short, but it's kind of that whole concept. And then you look on the other side, the Red Sox, their Fenway,
left field just got to hit the top
the Green Monster. Like nobody's hitting really on the left side. If they are, that's a true home run, obviously. But so you just got to look at different stadium and fields.
So, Goose, I know you're listening, man, and I know you're watching your comments, and I appreciate you. He said if they aren't, going back to what you said earlier, if they aren't letting him in, a pinch hit, not going to get it done. We all know he deserves it. Primo Eddie chimes in, best team in the league is my Dodgers, baby. Mm-hmm. Yes, your Dodgers is technically the best team record-wise and everything right now. In the league, they got hot. They're staying hot. And here's my question for you, Goose. I know you're going to chime in, and I'll ask Ian on the time being. Do you think he passes Barry Bonds?
Passes?
Yeah.
Does he play one more year, or is this his final year?
I don't think he goes anywhere. I honestly don't. And
so
I think the Cardinals are willing to keep
like a couple more years.
I think the Cardinals will be willing to keep him 2 more years. As crazy as it sounds.
I think if you can keep him in a very limited fashion like they're doing, and he doesn't have any significant like setbacks like injuries, elbow injuries, hands, none of that, then yeah, I could see him eventually passing him just because of longevity. I mean, obviously what Barry Bonds did in the short, like in the time period that he was doing it, and like the longevity of his career is different because Pujols is going now 20 something years. So
yeah.
So I think he passes him eventually. I think it's going to be a little bit of a wind up, like kind of like.
So we're talking 762, right? So
Yeah.
Albert is at 14 right now. I think he can get to 25. As crazy as it sounds, there's still
I
a lot
think
left.
there's a possibility
And
he gets to
he's so
25.
hot right now, and
Yeah.
he's gonna play teams right now that he's going to ballparks where he should be able to get those opportunities to hit these home runs with these fly balls. If he gets 25, then we're basically talking 21 a season if he plays 2 more seasons. That's tough, bro.
Yeah.
That's tough because he's gonna be declining a
But
lot
like
more.
I said, it just depends on how long he's able to kind of keep up somewhat of a hitting streak or like
Goose said no.
consistency. That's he'd need 60, 63 basically
Yeah,
over
it's
the
gonna be
course of the
tough.
next 3 years if he hits 25
He's
this year.
definitely gonna end up being number 2. We know that.
Yeah,
he'll
so,
end up number 2.
So I'd say there's a possibility, because I'm not going to doubt him out. He's proven that he's able to sustain a level of consistency, but I agree with Goose. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility.
Once again,
We'll be on Barry Bonds' watch.
Yeah, we'll be on that watch for sure, definitely. Once again, you're tuning to Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Jose V, EMB, Quan 59 up in the studio. Primo Eddie says no, he gets close but not past him. I agree. I think he's gonna get close, but he'll finish a close number 2. And that's where we're gonna end on that one. I don't have anything else to say about that. But hey, hats off to Albert, man. You gotta give him his roses. You know what I mean? The guy is doing his thing, and it's fun to watch. And someone like him that's done it, at least from we know, done it right his whole career. It's been fun to watch, man. So hats off to Albert Pujols. UNLV, man, real quick. Running Rebels last year finally got the monkey off their back. They got 2 wins. They got those wins for Coach Arroyo finally. Yeah. They got a lot of different transfers coming in this year, a lot of different guys that are coming back as well. So they're trying to keep some of that nucleus. First game is against Idaho State on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff at Allegiant Stadium. If you guys haven't got your tickets, man, go ahead and get your tickets. Just being in that stadium itself it's amazing, and it's cheaper than going to a Raider game. And not only that, you're supporting some local talent and showing these kids that you actually care about the program and you want to show out, man. Let's have some fun and enjoy yourself while you're out there. But when it comes to the Rebels, what are we looking at realistically? They had 2 wins last year, right? Do we see more of a jump this year?
3.
Quan says 3.
And I don't think it's going to be much more than that. I think they have had some talent infusion, but I don't think that it's going to be enough to bring them up to like a playoff setting or anything like that. However, I do have a question. So Arroyo's been catching a lot of heat on the internet lately. For decent reason. I mean, the teams have not been performing to the standard that we want them to. Not that we expect, but that we want them to.
What do we expect? We haven't expected anything
we
from
don't
UNLV.
expect anything, right? But is there a scenario that he keeps his job, or do you think that it's one of those things that if he has another year like that, he's gone?
So here's the thing. Me from the outside looking in, I'm tired of the whole recycle. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get a new one. Like I know Tony Sanchez wasn't going to be the guy, but I also feel that he kind of got the short end of the stick. I feel he should have got 1 more year. I mean, the guy beat Reno 3 out of the 6 years he was here, I believe, something like that. Call me crazy. No other coach has done that, and I don't know how long. Granted, it's just Reno. It's not like you're winning anything. I understand that, but he won the meaningful games, right? But I think that with Coach Arroyo, I mean, he had COVID year. I mean, I'm not making excuses, right? But COVID year, hard to recruit, hard to play, no fans. You don't know what you're getting. Travel was different, right? Just everything, the mindset was completely different. Not an excuse, but it's the truth. I get it. Every coach had to coach under all the same circumstances, but he was a first-year coach. Never been a head coach, right? And now he's doing this, coming to Vegas, trying to revamp a program that's hasn't really been relevant for God knows how long, 20, 30 plus years, right? Or let's not go back that far. Caleb Herring took them to a bowl game, a while back, so we will give him that. But I think that his job is safe regardless. Now, unless they go over this year, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say his job is still there regardless is because you also have a switch in AD. Harp is the AD now. It's not Desiree Reed-Francois anymore. So you got to look at that part as well. Yeah. Different athletic director. When he came in, it was someone else, and now you got another guy that comes in, and it also makes it hard on him because then he has the mindset possibly of, what do I do? Do I want to bring in a guy that I'm already looking at another conference that I want to bring in, or do I stick with this guy? You see what I'm saying? So it becomes muddy waters there.
I personally believe that when you bring in a new coach in a college program, you do need to give them a certain amount of time, unless you've already like established culture, like if it's Oregon or UCLA or something like that, where they're used to winning, right? That's different. But when you're kind of like trying to establish a different culture, a winning culture, and you don't have it, I think you need to give coaches a sizable amount of time, at least 5 years, I think, just so that they can start working on that whole like recruitment and figuring out exactly how they want to run their team and culture. So,
well, best of luck to UNLV, man. I hope that you guys have a great season. We'll be out there to as many games as we can cover this year and be sending people out there, definitely giving you guys as much content as we can. We're going to be on the field a lot more this year, so we're going to be doing a lot more pictures, videos, things of that nature. Just bringing you guys some behind the scenes. A lot of people don't get to see what it's like to be on the sideline behind the players. Some people like that, some don't. I happen to be a person that likes that, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that out there, obviously. But we're going to move on from UNLV. He said 3 wins. What do you got? And then I'll give mine real quick.
5.
Okay, I'll say 4. I think 4 is a stretch, but if they win more than that, I wouldn't be surprised either because they did bring in some guys, like I said. Hopefully they have a great season. And moving forward, let's stick to some NFL talk, though, real quick.
Right.
Thibodeau, you were talking about that. The game versus the Bengals the other night with Thaddeus Moss.
Yeah.
Randy Moss's son. Now, I saw the video after you sent it to me, and I started giving my opinion off of it, but then I said, let me go back on the web and look up other videos and see what people are talking about, because you also said the media is going crazy.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying it the way I'm saying it is because I was also in Mexico again this weekend. I was there for a wedding, so I really wasn't paying attention to much sports in general. But you brought it to my attention that the media was going crazy. The media was going wild over this. And I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on here. So then I see 3 or 4 tweets, and one of them is from a guy, and I don't care. Sam Acho from ESPN. I do not like this guy whatsoever. He seems like a guy that's just always trying to say the right thing and agree with the right people to try to get all the clicks and the likes. And it's like, be yourself. Don't be fake, right? And then Mark Schlereth calls him out. Cowardly. That was a clean play.
Was it Sam or was it Emmanuel?
No, it was Sam Acho. It was Sam Acho. And after seeing everything, I understand how people could think it was a dirty play or he was trying to be dirty.
If you don't understand football,
Exactly. But then you look at everybody's point of view, ex-players' point of view, not just people in the media that are tweeting that have never played a down in their life. And then, like you said, someone that knows football, you watch it. First of all, Thibodeau gets moved because of the movement that they did in the backfield. If you look at it, he even shuffles. By the time that Moss sees that, Moss is already in a movement, but Thibodeau's going. He's going for his hip originally, happens to slid down to his knee.
Yep.
Clean play. It's not like he got double blocked and double hit from top to bottom.
So everyone's going on the cut block, calling it a chop block, some people, right? Basically all that means is that they come over, they cut the defensive player off, right? And that is what a cut block is. He, like you said, he shoots for the hip, and then unfortunately it kind of, the defender kind of abandoned what you're supposed to do on a cut block, Thibodeau, and it ended up rolling into his knee, right? So everyone's like, oh, he is going low, he is going for the knee. No, Thibodeau should have known better. Should have basically pushed down the Thaddeus down and kind of try to maneuver around it. Instead, he tried to go for I think he thought it was like shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. But my big thing is, if it wasn't for the injury, nobody would be even talking about it as a dirty play or labeling a kid as a dirty player.
And not only that, the profile of the player, the type of player it was.
Exactly. And yeah, like if this was like, for instance, like if it was a top 5 pick versus a top 5 pick, right? I don't think people would have had as much of an issue, and I don't think people would have tried immediately label this player as a dirty player.
Yeah.
I think because Thaddeus Moss is kind of working for a roster spot, he's a roster bubble player, that they thought, oh, we can just throw dirt on his name, and it's not necessarily that. Like you said, there's a lot of players that are coming to his defense, but the media is going wild. Rich Eisen, he went to the point of saying throw him out of league, suspension, all this stuff.
Trying to get clicks, bro. People are bored.
Exactly.
And
Zion Johnson for the Chargers did the exact same scheme type of block that day. and nobody said a thing. So, and actually people were praising Zion Johnson for how he executed the block. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. I hope that Thibodeau, is it Thibodeau or Thibodeau? Thibodeau. Okay.
I guess I don't know. Thibodeau, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm hoping that he heals up. Hopefully not too soon because he's in our division. But
we got our guy Jay Madrazos finally showed up. He's in the building. Better late than never, but we got him here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, like always.
Of course, my guy. How you doing?
Good. Thank you. Good to be back.
Chilling.
How was the trip?
Trip was great, bro.
Feel?
Tijuana. It is what it is.
Okay.
I got some stories that we'll tell off air because I don't want people to think bad about
like
me.
Off the record.
But let's just say I've never driven through a police checkpoint in my life. I drove through 3 this weekend, but the rest of the story is the craziest part about it. But we'll talk about that off air. But it's good to see you in studio, my guy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're good. What you got for us?
We have a couple comments. Another comment from Donnell. Off subject, he goes, Thad Moss should stay at LSU and it's okay to carry on. That's the comment we got in. So,
should he have stayed one more year?
Maybe. I like him
because you said outside when we were talking that he's fighting for a roster spot.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's gonna stay on the spot on this roster regardless.
Oh no, I think so too. Just mainly because the tight end depth chart for the Bengals is very thin. So mainly because of that reason. But I do think that he's done enough. I think there's some truth to that because I do think that there are things that he could definitely get better at. And sometimes with coaching in college, sometimes they can work on those like developmental things a little bit easier because it's less of like a competition to get onto the spot. Like you're not paying these athletes as much money as you are in the NFL yet. So I'd say one more year might have done him good instead of coming out. But
once again, you are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Jose V, EMB, Quan59, Jay Madrazos up in the studio. Do me a favor, man. Press that like, press that share, drop a comment. We'll go from there. Let everyone know what it is you are tuned into today. And remember, we are live every single Wednesday, 4 p.m., 7 p.m. on the East Coast here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. If you miss any of this episode, just check us out on YouTube, Straight Bet Sports, if not Gorilla Cross Radio, and you can find all of our content there. A lot more to talk about in football. Baker gets named the starter in Carolina. If I'm being honest with you, not surprised whatsoever. As soon as I saw the trade when it happened, I thought he's going to be the starter. There's no way Matt Rule was going to try to make this type of trade and not bring him in and not make him the starter. Am I saying that right off the bat I thought he was a better quarterback than Sam Darnold? Not necessarily. But if we're talking about profile-wise, this guy was the number 1 overall pick.
Darnold was number 2.
Correct. I get that. But think about it. All the hype that came behind him.
Yeah.
Walk-on. Heisman Trophy winner. Oh, great song to put on. Thank you. Heisman Trophy winner. Number 1 pick, right? All the hype, the commercials, the media, all the advertisements that this kid had the whole time that he was in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't live up to the hype. All the issues that are going on, supposedly it was all about him. Oh, he wasn't a great leader in the locker room, yada, yada, yada. OBJ was rooting for him.
I was just going to say OBJ actually voiced his support for Baker, which kind of surprised me because the narrative was that they didn't get along.
Correct.
So obviously there's some things that were going on in Cleveland that were behind the scenes that weren't quite what media portrayed it.
And that's the thing, media, podcasters, people like us, it's easy for us to give our take without knowing what's actually happened behind closed doors, right? Unless we have media sources that are there that can tell us, I'm seeing this, I'm hearing that. That's a whole different story, right? But again, Baker Mayfield gets named the starter. The one thing that took me out surprised, and when we were talking about it, was that they both only played 1 game.
Yeah.
Baker went 4 of 7, 45 yards, no touchdowns, no sacks, which is good, passer rating of 76. Darnold, 2 of 3, 16 yards, 1 touchdown. 119 rating. Obviously, smaller sample size there. And then you got P.J. Walker, did a little bit more there. You got Matt Corral. They're not going to keep 4 quarterbacks. We know that. They're probably going to keep 3.
So, Corral, because of his draft position, is going to stay. Absolutely. And
they'll probably keep P.J. on the practice squad.
And they probably going to feel bad because they set him up for that injury that he had. In case our viewers don't know, Matt Corral broke his foot, Lynn France surgery, I believe. But so he's out for the entire season. Les Frank injury. I think that's what's called, right? Yeah.
Not jersey. But I'm not surprised because everything that I was hearing that we all see as normal people, you know, that you read, that you hear on ESPN or all these other networks or even on local radio, is that he's been that locker room guy that they were expecting him to be.
Yeah.
They already knew what they were going to get from him talent-wise.
Yeah.
Now you have a guy, I think, I forgot, I think it's their offensive coordinator. He was critical of him prior when he was coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
And now he's talking about this guy's a great leader.
I can't think of his
we know,
name,
you know who I'm talking about, though. We knew what we know what he brought to the table. It's just a matter of, it wasn't a matter of him executing. It was a matter of can he be a leader and take control and yada, yada, yada. And then again, you have, even though they're tweets, it's social media. You have a guy like OBJ voicing his support. You have a guy, Robbie Anderson, that basically said, hell no, I don't want this guy. Now saying, I'm glad we got Baker Mayfield. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win anything. I'm not saying they're going to be great, but I think that he does give them a better opportunity to win now before anyone else does, because we saw what Sam Darnold is and isn't. You understand what I'm saying?
They won, what, 7 games last year?
Correct. And Sam won 3 of the first, and that was it.
They might. So it might tax on like 1 or 2 wins.
Here's the thing. I think they can win 9 games at a stretch. That's at a stretch. I see them winning 8, if anything.
That's their ceiling easily.
But even if they win 8, I don't see it being a bad season.
No.
Because what are you really asking Baker to do? You're not asking Baker to come in here and be a superhero and win the division. It's not going to happen.
Although I will say this. If CMC is healthy for the entire season, which, again, it's CMC, so he's a walking injury report, right? So if he's healthy for the entire season, then I can see them actually getting maybe 10 wins in that division.
Okay.
Because I do think that the Bucs are struggling injury-wise. I think that we have high expectations because it's Tom Brady, blah, 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 blah. But they're already struggling with injuries in camp and the preseason game. So I think they're going to take a step backwards, and I don't think the Saints are going to be as good as we think. Some people think they're going to be really good. I don't think they're going to be as good as people think they are.
We have a comment from Eddie. He's commenting saying Baker is overrated. What do y'all think?
So, well, okay. So
it's easy to say.
It's easy to
just
say
because of what happened.
Because of what happened. But I do also think that he never got a real fair chance in Cleveland. I think that he did everything he could from a on-field perspective to try to keep his job, right? Like, he fought through injury. He would try his best, but first of all, for the first 3 years, that offensive line was absolutely garbage.
Trash, yeah.
And then they really kept on looking at other quarterbacks, and you got to wonder what that kind of does to a young quarterback's mentality when your organization that drafted you number 1 is looking around saying, hey, you know, like he's pretty nice over there, you know, what do you think, Baker? Like, so, and then they ended up training for Deshaun Watson. So I think that he's in a good place to succeed, but yeah, he's a little overrated.
We'll see what happens, man. I don't think he's overrated. I just, you know, I think he's
underperforming. Let's
you know what?
That.
He
to expectations.
So here's the thing. If you want to talk about overrated, prior to him, look up all the quarterbacks that Cleveland has had.
Look at the hype that Deshaun Kaiser that they put on him when
they won 8 games last year.
Camp.
They won 8 games last year. Before that, I think they made the playoffs. I'm just saying, people want to talk about Baker
like
that's overrated.
Yeah.
It's easy to say he's overrated when they have a list that can go outside the studio. Like, that's how many quarterbacks they've had.
Didn't
It's
they go
insane.
through like 20 quarterbacks in a
Easy.
4-year
Easy.
period or something like that? It was insane. I know it's like a record almost.
So that's what I'm saying. It's easy to say that he's overrated. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna go over there and be the savior, because I don't believe that. I honestly feel, and I know this is only off of 1 game in preseason, and I don't watch preseason, but I should do it more, I believe now. I think Atlanta is going to be a sleeper in that division. Marcus Mariota looks like a starting quarterback again. Not only that, he looks comfortable, and he's got a guy in Kyle Pitts that can run any route you ask him to, whether as in a receiver or a tight end.
Pitts is looking real good. London is looking also real good, obviously.
The young guy they have, too, a running back, Algiers, the little guy.
Yeah.
Bro, they
BYU.
are going to be scary. They're having fun. I saw interviews. I'm seeing stuff prior to the Jets game, after the Jets game, the coaching regimen. The coach came in and said, "We're gonna strip this place of entitlement."
Do you believe Arthur?
Like literally, we're gonna get
believe
rid
in
of it.
Arthur Smith real quick?
I don't know yet. But from what I'm hearing,
I'm not sold on him.
Atlanta might be the worst team in the league.
Look. I want to dial it back, and the reason why I want to dial it back is one, their secondary is absolutely cheeks. Like,
what happened?
I said their secondary is absolutely cheeks. Like outside of AJ Terrell, like it's AJ Terrell and everyone else. So there's that. So they play really good wide receiver cores in that division. You got Michael Thomas, Olave's doing really good in camp from what I hear. You got Kamara.
Just save this tape. If you guys are watching, save this tape. Because when Atlanta ends up being the second best team in that division, I'm just saying.
Okay. Before you go down, though, we got another comment.
Okay.
We got Quan chime in. He's saying ATL might be the worst team in the league. Disagreeing with what Jose said. So.
And then Goose says the same thing.
Yeah.
Terrible, they stink.
What do you think?
I actually think the Bears are going to be the worst team in the league.
Who did you say?
Oh
Bears?
yeah, I think the Bears. I think the Bears are the worst team.
Yeah,
Serious question though. Serious
Hands
question
down,
for
I
both
think
of
the
you. If you
Bears
guys had to pick right now, though, if you guys had to, or you guys choose, or it's your choice, your number one choice besides your team
For worst team or
no,
for
like,
best
like
team?
for
or
like let's not be biased. Like to our teams, who do you want to win, or who do you guys see like that's gonna take the whole thing?
So we're gonna
Or
have an
projecting.
NFL preview show in a couple weeks. But if we had to give you a coin flip,
Like just right
and
now,
say
like,
on
you
each
think, or
side,
maybe
who's
like
the
with
best team right
preseason,
now?
or who looks the best off like just preseason? Let's just say. Let's just gauge off that, or how would you want to gauge
So
it?
if I had to give you a coin flip,
Yeah.
I say that in the AFC side,
Yeah.
I think Kansas City.
Okay.
I think the Bills don't even make the AFC
wow.
title game this year. I think they're smoke and mirrors. I said it. Enjoy your participation trophy quarterback
I like
with Josh Allen. You call me crazy, but I think Kansas. I mean, again, coin flip. We
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
gone through
yeah.
everything that we're gonna go through in a couple
Okay,
weeks.
but just what
coin
you-
flip.
yeah.
Kansas City on one side, and I can see the Rams making it back to the Super Bowl next year.
Wow.
That's again
Okay.
without going through our research and what we're
Yeah.
gonna look at,
Yeah.
who gets cut, who doesn't.
What looks good on
And
paper?
what looks on
right?
paper, correct.
I
And what do you think?
So I think it's coin flip between Bills and Chiefs
Okay.
on that side.
Good question though.
Because I do think that preseason training camp Chiefs look better than our expectations were of them because Tyreek Hill is gone. But I think Bills, and then I agree with you. I think the Rams on the NFC side are easily the best team right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Good question
Hey, it's on the record
Yeah.
right now. Look.
though. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Primo Eddie says Ian is still going to say the Eagles. No, he didn't say the Eagles.
No, that's what I
He
said.
stayed away
Without
from
being
it.
biased with our own team. 'Cause
No,
we're all,
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, the Raiders, the
I
Raiders,
think
the Raiders.
I
Right?
think
But-
they're a really good team, and I think they have a chance. But I'm not going to pick them as my favorite to win because obviously there's a lot that has to go into a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
First of all, roster, then health, and then coaching and stuff like that. So
True.
there's still a lot of question marks about the Eagles. I'm excited about the Eagles, but there's still a lot of question marks. So
and then
no,
pressure the Rams.
Okay,
Look
so-
at that pressure for the Rams too if they want to, right?
So I'm gonna call out this comment because even though I didn't choose this team to go to the Super Bowl,
Okay.
Bills Niners, based off of everything I have seen from the 49ers quarterback situation right now with Trey Lance. Obviously, it's preseason, it's mini camps. I get all that. Bills Niners, Super Bowl. I'm not going to give you the win total. Quan says 34-27 Niners. But hey,
Oh,
call me
man.
crazy. That can definitely be
That's
a
a
possibility
scenario
of
that
something
can happen.
happening. Because what did the Niners really, or what are they really changing? Just the quarterback, right? And they're already bringing in a guy that was there 1 year, sat behind, played a couple times. Now he's the guy. So it's not like you're really changing that much.
I have a lot of questions about the secondary for the 49ers, just like I had last year.
Ooh, Quan
be
says,
honest.
ooh.
To be honest, outside of some Fred Warner, their linebacker, like Kinlaw, like outside of those guys, like their back end is really questionable to me. But
You
again,
shaking your head,
we
bro.
got we
agree
got
with that?
we got NFL preview show coming up soon, so we'll get
You'll
into
dissect it
all
down, detail, break it,
we'll
give
get
us the
all
breakdown
into
for
that.
sure.
My guy
right?
Jalen over here nodding his head. You got football? You got football thoughts? You got something you want to say about that? Nah? No.
No comment.
You got a hot mic. Don't trip, bro. Don't be scared. Don't let it spit out. But yeah, man, I'm excited for football season. And I know when it comes to the gambling world and gambling Twitter, people talk about all that. Oh, I can't wait. This is my best. No, I enjoy football season more than any sport. And it's
Absolutely.
all the way around. Watching it, gambling on it, hanging out with my friends, barbecuing, eating, drinking, having a good time. I enjoy football more than any other sport because I do everything that I can with it, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm excited for football season to come back.
So you said you looked a little bit into the Jets, right?
Correct.
So what were your takeaways from watching that preseason game?
So here's the thing about that, real quick, because I know nobody wants to talk about the Jets and nobody cares about the Jets.
Just
but
real quick.
If that's the secondary that we're going to start, we have issues already off the bat. Because Atlanta, with their starters in that first couple drives, those first couple series, wide open down the middle, down the middle. Even the backups, and I want to throw this out there, I think Atlanta's going to keep 4 tight ends. Call me crazy. They have that much talent on the tight end side, and they can use a lot of it. But the way that they were running those routes, down the middle, wide open, down the middle, wide, and they weren't even the small guys. They weren't even the slot guys. These were all tight ends they were doing these plays with. It's scary to watch, man. The Jets are in trouble on the defensive side of the ball. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, I can't say much because we didn't start Joe Flacco, which is supposed to be our day one starter right now because of what's going on with Zach Wilson.
Have they named him the starter over Wilson?
For week one, pretty much that's what it's looking like. So not only that, they didn't start Elijah Moore. They didn't start Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall played briefly. We haven't seen much from Breece, but I think that we're still going to see a lot from him, the kid from Iowa State. I got to see him here at Allegiant Stadium when they played against UNLV. But here's the thing. They are, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the youngest teams in the league now. They got so young in this draft, and that's what people aren't talking about. Again, I know it's preseason, but 2 preseason games, both games coming from behind. This last game, they were down 16 donut. They won 24-16, 24 unanswered points. So that does show you the coaching that we have. This shows you that Saleh can coach a team regardless of what he has out there. So I have hopes in the coaching squad that we have. Do I have hopes in the roster? I don't know yet because I don't know which guys they're going to keep. I don't know if they're going to try to keep some of these guys that nobody knows about because they're making a name in preseason and they're going to try to see if it works and scheme them up in the regular season. I don't know that. What I am excited about, though, and I can finally say this, and it's been a while, I am excited about the coaching staff because at the end of the day, whether it's preseason or not, you have to continue to coach the guys you have on the field and on the sideline to win the game. He has done that for 2 games in a row.
Hey, I will say this. Sauce's looked pretty good out there. I mean, they haven't played him a lot, but in the coverage snaps that he's been in, they're not even targeting him. So they're already putting a little bit of respect on him. So, interesting.
There we go, man. What Primo Eddie got to say? Because I know he's saying something out there, bro.
Well, first, Juan goes, who's the Jets quarterback? Yeah, right? He's questioning Vinny,
Vinny Testaverde, the great. Vinny.
And then we also have from Eddie. He goes, Jets will be the worst team this year. No offense, Primo.
Okay, so everyone's going to be the worst team. Is it Atlanta? Is it the Jets?
It's a toss-up now. Now I'm hearing.
What was the bet that I said on air that I tweeted out as well?
If they go 9-8, you're going to get a tattoo.
That's right, because you can't go 8-8 anymore. You can't have a 500 season.
If they go 9-8,
if they go 9-8 or higher, I will get a Jets tattoo.
If who goes 9-8?
The Jets.
The Jets. If the Jets go 9-8,
yeah.
Oh, he's not getting a tattoo.
No, I agree. No.
It has to be visible too for it to count.
I'm gonna get a glow in the dark tattoo so you can only see it when the light's on it. But yeah, man, like everybody's laughing on Facebook as well. But look, man, if the Jets do that, which I don't see it happening, but look, I do like some of the offensive guys that we have. I like the young guys. I like Garrett Wilson. I like Elijah Moore. I like Mims. I like our running back situation. I think it's going to be okay. Sauce Gardner's a great cornerback. We know what he can do. It's just a matter of putting the talent together, right? Yep. That's all it is. Now, and when we talk about putting the talent together,
8 losses in week 10.
That's fine with me. I mean, I'm already used to it. I'm a Jets fan. I'm not a guy that's going to come out here and act like, we're going to win the Super Bowl, America's team. No, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not delusional. I don't think we're going to win it every single year. You know what I mean? There's been times where Quan hasn't said his team's going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I'm pretty sure there's been times where he said that they're not going to. But going into tough situations too, Pittsburgh, the whole Pittsburgh situation, we see and we hear what might happen, right? Obviously, Mitchell Trubisky was brought in to be the guy. They've both played in 2 games, and what I mean by both is him and Pickett, the first-year guy that they also drafted out of Pittsburgh. But then you also have Kyle Rudolph that hasn't been a pushover. Statistically, he's doing better than both of these quarterbacks combined in the preseason. Granted, I get it again. It's preseason. You say it all the time. You're not playing the elite defenses. defenses aren't playing the elite
No.
offenses. We're not seeing all of that crazy stuff. Now, if I had to choose, and I think what's going to happen, I would say Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the week 1 starter. You didn't bring in Mitchell just to be behind a guy that you're going to draft out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They brought him in before they even had any visions or thoughts of thinking of taking Pickett, in my opinion. And I think that he has to be the day 1 starter. Pickett has been looking good. He's looked great. But you also got to be smart with it.
Yeah.
Bring him in when the time is right. Don't just throw him in if you don't know what he's really going to give you.
True. I give Mitch probably about 4 to 6 games before Kenny Pickett forces the issue. I don't think Tomlin's the guy to throw in a rookie. He's never really had this situation because he's had Roethlisberger
His whole career,
the entire time. So, yeah. So we'll see with that. But from a preseason overreaction standpoint, like I was telling you earlier, with Kenny Pickett, while what he's doing is impressive, 1, like I said, he's going against like 2s and 3s. 2, his form, his footwork, none of it looks like it's drastically improved. Like there's no questions that people had pre-draft process that the preseason games you're like, wow, like he stunned you. No, like the tape is the tape, the film is the film. It's pretty much close to the same. Like, is he reading it a little bit better? Yeah, but that just happens when you're playing against NFL defenses every week, and especially when you're in practice with TJ Watt and these guys. So that's going to happen, but it's not like wow. Like there's nothing that Pickett has done necessarily that has wowed me. Mitch has been going predominantly against 1s and 2s. Sometimes, preseason you still don't get the starters at the beginning. But he has been doing that, and he has also been looking better than, his Chicago Bear days. So we'll see with Trubisky, because Trubisky might come in, and who knows, like if they mess around and actually make a kind of early run at that division, then Tomlin might have said, we're in no rush to put Pickett in there. We'll stay with Trubisky until this experiment fails. And, I'm not going to make the comparison, but in terms of like coaching decision wise, you could see the same thing like you saw with Mahomes, where basically your rookie stays behind a bona fide starter for an entire year. Maybe let him play the last meaningless game.
So we got to jump off the topic, but the one last thing that I'll say, one kid that I've been watching, and this kid is going to be lights out, and I think he's going to end up eventually being the number 1 guy in Baltimore, is Isaiah Likely, the rookie out of Coastal Carolina. He had 100 yards last week, 8 catches, 8 of 8 on targets. Every single ball that was thrown to him was caught, and he scored a touchdown. Remember, Brown is gone. Hollywood Brown is gone. They need a number 1 guy. Size-wise, 6'2". He is the type of guy that they want, and they need there in Baltimore to help Lamar Jackson.
So have they signed Mark Andrews yet? Like, have they given him his
That
extension
I don't know.
yet?
That
is he
I do
still
not
on
know.
his rookie?
That I do not know, but he's got to get signed eventually. But if you're a fantasy guy, I'm telling you, Isaiah Likely is going to be a guy that you're going to want to pick up and leave on your roster and just have him sit there for a bit and see what happens. If you pick up other bigger elite names, obviously, that's what I'm saying. You got to make sure that you keep some of these guys stacked away. And when I'm talking about fantasy, big ups to my guy Sosa. He started up his Discord Sosa World and his Spaces as well. And we got a fantasy football league on there going on as well. And the Wise Guys Diamond Club, I say it every single week. If you don't like free money, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Check out the Wise Guys Diamond Club on Twitter and let them know that Jose V from Straight Bet Sports sent you. They'll definitely take care of you and hook you up. If you're looking to make money, whether you're a rookie, a professional, no matter what type of bettor you are, they will take care of you. Sosa, Spin Doc, Rex, and Andy, hooking you up with every single sport possible and all the prop bets that you can think of as well. Make sure you check them out on Twitter. And again, let them know Jose V and EMB sent you from Straight Bet Sports.
So I just looked it up. He does have a 4-year, $56 million contract. So
he
is under contract. It looks like they didn't like I mean, they paid him, but they didn't like massively overpay him for his production. It is very interesting because Mark Andrews, everyone thinks of Mark Andrews like he's this big guy. He's only like 5'8", bro. Like, so like you got.
But he's a big body guy.
He is a big body guy.
He plays like a tall, big body guy.
He does. But then you got Isaiah Likely, who is a bigger tight end. And I definitely see the emergence of Likely, meaning that they're going to be probably running a lot more 2 tight end sets. which could definitely help out Lamar, especially with, like you said, Marquise Brown going to the Cardinals. So we'll see. I mean, I said last week, you guys said you like the Ravens. I said with what, offensive weapons, well, the emergence of Isaiah likely kind of shifts that a little bit. So we'll see. We still have 2-3 more weeks of preseason left till the kickoff of season. So there's a lot that can happen. So
3 final notes for NFL. Dan Campbell, tone it down, bro. You're not a WWE guy, and that's what you sound like in Hard Knocks. I watched the episode last night. It was pretty funny, and I'm a little sad. Kenyon Drake and a guy that I thought would have a big year for the Raiders, contributing wise, Amir Abdullah got cut this past week. So best of luck to those guys. Who knows? They might keep him on the practice squad, might bring him back. You never know.
Did they fully cut him?
They
Because I know that it's rumored, but I didn't see if they had.
Again, we'll see. Normally, some of these guys end up coming back anyways. They end up making the roster down the road.
I will say this with Drake, I do not see him clearing the waiver wire. So
I think somebody will
really
pick him
do
up.
see that him going to another team easily. I know there's quite a bit of teams in the league, including my Eagles, that are actually keeping an eye on the whole Kenyon Drake situation.
There it is, man. But a lot more to talk about in football, which we'll be talking a lot of football in the next coming episodes, in the next coming weeks. We're about to hit 130, I think, almost already episodes, which is crazy, man. We're getting to that number. It's pretty cool to know that we keep going and we keep doing it. But the Las Vegas Aces, talking about keep going and keep doing it. They win their first 2 games. The first game was a bit scary. We were in attendance. It was a tight, scary game. And fourth quarter was different. They took off, ended up winning by 16. Didn't cover the spread. It was 16.5. But this is a team that has been hot since 2019. 88 wins, most in the WNBA. 87.6 points per game, the most in the WNBA as well. So they've been that team that we know can win, we know can score, and not only that, the best 3-point shooting team in the league in that span as well, in that 3-year span. They sweep the first series against Phoenix. Obviously, Diana Taurasi not being there, not playing. Skylar Diggins out as well. And big shout out to Diana Taurasi. First game, Joelle didn't get no video because I saw her and I bolted. She was standing right on the side, and I went up to her and I'm like, Diana, and I know how she is. When you speak to her in Spanish, she loves it. She's very respectful because she's Argentinian, and she loves it when people talk to her in Spanish. I start talking to her in Spanish. I tell her where my dad's from, what part of Argentina. She gets up. You saw it. She gets up, turns around, starts talking to me, shakes my hand, gives me a hug, says, tell your dad, happy, hello from me and this and that. Que le mando saludos, yada, yada. Diana Taurasi is the GOAT, bro. She is awesome. I never got to talk to Kobe. I was around him in certain arenas, but I never got the opportunity to even do that. The fact that I can say I was able to talk to her and just shake her hand, bro, that's amazing. Kobe gave her nickname too, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? And I got to meet her, so I know that's a little fanboyish or whatever, call it what you want to. But the big names weren't playing. Not even Kia Nurse.
Yeah,
she
like
was
3 players,
also
right? They had
out,
like 3 out
for the Phoenix Mercury.
Yeah.
So obviously not a surprise that they did what they did and win it. Now you're going against Seattle, a team that we know can beat this Aces team. We know that. But we also know this is the team that can fold against the Aces because the Aces had their number as well at the end of the season when they beat them to close it out. This is going to be fun, guys. Game 1's on Sunday. I won't be there, unfortunately. I got my other kids that I haven't seen in a bit. So, family time comes first. Yes, I know you'll be there with Evan. And then game 2 is Wednesday night, which is crazy because it's almost a week until they play their next game, right? I love this, and I love this matchup because you don't want to see them play a garbage team. You want to see them get tested. You want to see them give the fans something that they can cheer about and be excited. Like, we just beat a team that matters. You end Sue Bird's career. This is the perfect way to make it to the championship. And not only make it, but win the championship. Like, if people want to talk crap, oh, you took out Sue Bird. And what if Chicago gets back to the championship and then you beat the defending champ? I know that's a lot, and I know I'm going crazy. Call that my rant of the day if you want. But just think about it. Yeah. If all that leads to it, there's no excuse to say this team had a great run this year.
No, and, it's funny because some people might be actually scared of them going up against Chicago if they make it there. However, I mean, like you just said it, to end the season, they beat them.
Yeah, beat them at home.
Securing the number 1 seed. So I think this team would definitely give Chicago a run for its money if they can get there. But obviously, a lot has to go in and play. But we'll see.
Yeah, no,
I'm excited.
Yeah, no, adding on to that, I'm confident. Like seeing them this past month, like going in, they had a run, and then they lost a couple games, and even on the road, and then you saw them that they took like a second to like, okay, we got to shape this up because now it's crunch time. And then we've been seeing them. They this last part of the season, we played nothing but hard teams. So we
they
came
had
back,
to step up the defense and everything else.
Defense, I agree.
You think last year's loss is going to kind of catapult Plum and Gray and Asia? Like,
Oh yeah, I think
like
Kelsey. I think
that's
Kelsey's
gonna
waiting
fuel
for that
them
type of game.
Because I mean, in a sense, it's not this. It's not the same team, but it is the same round that they ended in. So
I think,
but better. I feel like they turned
they
it
are
up way,
they are better. They are much better.
I'm telling you, the fact that Chicago got the number 2 seed, call me crazy. I think Kelsey, she says this is from her, the dog in her, because she loves using that phrase. The dog in her, bro, I think there's something about her that she wants to see Chicago in the finals.
Yeah.
She not only does she want to have a great season like she said she was, and she is having MVP season in my opinion. Again, I'm vouching for MVP. But I think that if they get to the finals, she doesn't want it to be anybody else but Chicago. Because if you're the Aces, that's the ice, that's the cherry on top.
Yeah.
That's
season,
everything, bro. You bring in the coach. You pay the most money that anybody's ever been paid. You have a player that comes off the bench to become a starter and does what she says she's going to do. You score points galore, break records, all of that. It's the cherry on top.
Number one team.
Number one team to
beat
win
Chicago for the cup.
So we'll see, man. We'll definitely see. It's going to be fun. If you guys haven't been out there, man, go support the Las Vegas Aces, Michelob Ultra Arena this Sunday, 1 p.m. tip. And then Wednesday night, 7 p.m. tip for Game 2. Then they go on the road to Seattle for 2 there and come back for 1 home. It's the best of 5. First team that wins 3 moves on to the conference finals to get to the finals. So that should be fun, man. But we've come to the end of the show, fellas. That was fun. No guests, but we might have a guest next week. We might have some guests moving forward because that's something that we're trying to do, get some more people in here. But we also want to talk a lot more sports, and sometimes we run out of time. But any final words you got, my guy?
Just make sure you guys are following us, EMB_sports, Jose_Volante, Straight Bet Sports, Gorilla Cross Radio. Make sure you retweet, subscribe, click notifications, all of that good stuff. And thank you guys again for your continued support. We really appreciate it. You guys are what makes this show happen. So, yeah. Tune in next week. Wednesday, we're going to have a good one for you.
So I'm sorry that we talked about the Jets for 10 minutes and we didn't talk about the UFC, but we all know, we all saw what happened this past weekend. Kamaru Usman did lose his belt by a kick to the face knockout by Leon Edwards. I didn't see the whole fight. I got to see highlights of it and see the most important parts of it. From everything I saw, it was a great fight leading up to that. Great work by the corner. The corner never stopped on Leon Edwards' side, and they made sure that they kept him ready, focused, and let him know that he was going to win this fight. But the way that they did it was great. Great coaching all the way around. He never gave up. I don't think it was a fluke, but I do agree with a buddy of mine that's a huge UFC fan that he's been watching it for years. I think we see the same scenario with Amanda Nunes and Pena. I think she's going to come back. I think he's going to come back. He's going to take his belt back. End of story. I'm not saying that Leon Edwards is a fluke.
No.
His record is great. He's done a lot in the UFC, and all his fights prove that. But it was fun to watch. And sometimes it's good to see a champ go down.
It is.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now, people say that Usman probably lost his GOAT status because of this loss. He didn't lose anything, bro.
So they also, just real quick.
30 seconds, go for it.
There's a clip. It's a great clip. You can find it on YouTube. Basically, the camp for Edwards, they were going through little like things that Usman does, and one of the things that they were looking for the entire fight, it looks like, was the head kick when he dips his chin.
Okay.
He got that look, took it, got the fight. So I mean that's just how it is sometimes. If you do your homework, there are tells from even the best fighters in the world.
And last thing that I need to say, Omar Figueroa Jr. He was supposed to fight Adrian Broner this past Saturday. I hit him up on Twitter. He got back to me. That's another gentleman we'll be having on the show here shortly. Date to be announced soon. So that should be a good conversation with the former champ there. Always love having boxers on the show. You know that. But Jay Madrazos, I appreciate you, my guy, as always.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys follow this guy if you're not already doing so. He's going to be posting a lot more content for us on all the games. My guy, Jalen, I appreciate you coming in, man, hanging out. I know you didn't talk on the mic, but you chill with us.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Got that Knicks hat on, man. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll talk about it next week. But anyways, Jose V, EMB, Quan59, for everybody involved with the show, we greatly appreciate you. We've been live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Peace.
Later.